Hey, I'm Anthony Hannigan. Welcome back to musicmoose.org. We're learning the mandolin here in these sessions. Hope you're having a great time. I'm having a really good time bringing all this stuff to you here at the Music Moose Studios. And we've been kind of talking about left-hand position and chords and technique and all that stuff. And you're kind of maybe wondering how this is all going to help you out. I can promise you that it's definitely going to help you out when you start looking at chords and how they're broken down and how you can take off on some improv or even basic note structure or even scale progressions off of these chords. Where we last let off was the full chord of the G. Using all four fingers, we got into some exercises too, stretching out the pinky. And you could do that too. After giving it some thought here, you could even do that when you're just sitting around the house. Just sit there and grab the instrument and kind of just stretch the fingers out, like anybody else. Football players do it by stretching out their legs and arms before they practice. It's a good idea just to get into some, shake your hands a little bit, both hands, get all the little sparkles and the spiders out of the hands and start moving them around. The one thing I want to get into also with these chords, they don't have to be such a tight regime as just being like the 2-finger or the 3-finger or the full chords too. Each one of them, I think we left off last time by stating, looking how we have this right here. There's your G chord, there's your G chord, there's your big G chord, and if you lift this up, you still have a G chord, and you jump back down to here. It's just a different position, actually the same position, but just using different fingers. Now the one thing I'd like to do too is a lot of times on the kickoffs, especially in a bluegrass or a country tune, they'll base a kickoff around these chords. And you can do double stops. There's your G double stop or your C. Now if that works for C and I move down 2, I'm going to have D, back to a G. But now here's something really also pretty cool. You jump down here, there's your 2-finger G. Here's a distant cousin of the 2-finger G. It's also a 2-finger G. It's using the 5th fret on the A string and the 3rd fret on the E string. Sometimes if you want a little bit more strength here in the index finger and the middle finger, just to use those. Right above it, we know lives Mr. C. And right above that lives Mr. F. These are kind of hard to chop over, but you could. It gives a real percussive kind of sound. I don't do it that often. Sometimes if I'm playing a song and I'm chopping, I'll just lay down into that for a little bit of effect. But definitely for picking any kind of lead or any kind of kickoff. And a good little rehearsal to get into that would be doing a tremolo. We're going to get into the tremolo too in the next lessons and some more right hand techniques. But basically all I'm doing is walking down from my double stop G, and that's just on the 2nd fret A string and the 5th fret D string, which is also a G. And if you notice, this also, like its cousins, is going to repeat all the way up the neck. G, G sharp, A, to a B flat, to a B, to a C, and so forth. And we can do the same thing up here with the C, walk it down, and go down to a D. So if you look right above the D, where's the 4 of that chord, it's going to be a G. It's always, always the rule. It never repeats itself any other way. Unless you're cross-tuning the instrument, of course, and you're going to have some other kind of bizarre chords in there, but we're not even going to get into that right now. So let's use that as an example of how we can come back and land from 2 fingers to 2 fingers. We'll take the G, up to a C, up to a lower N G, to a D, back to the G, Now what's really cool about this too, when I talked about that double stop, and it's usually the rule of thumb here, or the rule of hand I should say, is if you take your G, what lives above it every single time is the 4 chord, and that's going to be your C. What lives below it, and if the mandolin had another string down here, you would see if I did a little G down here, it would be a D chord. But taking this right here is a D right here. And if I slide that up, and I know the alphabet, there's an E. Same with your G going down to an A, C to a D. So let's look at this D chord right here. We want to know, what is the 5 of the D? So you think about it, and you think about it, and you know, well, it's an A. So there's my A. And what's right below the A? The 5 of that is going to be the E. And if we had more strings down here, it would be a B, of course. But we don't, so we're kind of slave to what we have right here. But you can run that progression and those chords right up the neck all the time. So at any given time, wherever your hands align on the fretboard, you should be able to kind of envision where the next chord is going to be, or what you can do as far as chords. So let's just run through that real quick. Little G, a little bit bigger of a G, full G, into a G double stop, to a C, slide it down, to a G. That's your lesson today on more chords here at musicmoose.org. As always, we're open to any suggestions or any kind of remarks that you may have. Please tune in again for many more episodes, and while you're at it, check out the great exciting stuff we have to offer on the banjo and guitar as well.